Welcome to A Sex Worker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the answer to life, the universe, and everything is sex workers. I'm your host, Parker Westwood, and today we get to have a fantastic conversation with Elliot Emerson of the Emerson Experience podcast. They also have a couple different collections of candles for purchase, which we will talk about later on in the episode. In this episode, we talk about review boards, podcasting a bit, her relationship to her body, and a recent plastic surgery that she had, and talking about how people perceive that and how she felt about getting plastic surgery. And again, we talk about the candle business side hustle and just like her creative brilliance in general. I'm really excited for y'all to hear this episode. Elliot, it was just a peach to talk to. And I just want to get a few things about the show out of the way. If you want to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/sexygalaxypod. You can find us on Twitter at sexygalaxypod. And we have a website that is linked in the show notes, so you can find all the episodes there, as well as on any platform you find your podcasts. Obviously, you're listening to this, so you already know that. And A Sex Worker's Guide to the Galaxy is brought to you by Companion Tax. If you are a companion and you want help with your taxes, go check out companiontax.com. All right, now that we've got all that out of the way, let's jump into the interview with Elliot Emerson. Here we go. All right, I am here today with the one, the only, Elliot Emerson.
Hi.
Hey, Elliot, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Parker?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for being on the show. Why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself with name, pronoun, where you're located, if you care to share, and what kind of sex work you do.
Well, I'm Elliot Emerson. Pronouns she, her. I'm based out of Dallas, Texas, and what I like to refer to myself as is a girlfriend experience or GFE provider.
Love that. I also heard you say on your podcast, which we'll talk about in a moment, influence whore, which I personally really love. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
How did you get started in sex work? What is your origin story?
Well, I think I started almost like everyone else, which I won't say everyone else has started this way, but more than a few of us have started with sugaring. So I moved to Texas from North Carolina for a civilian job. I wasn't making that much money here. And I just was trying to figure out what I could do to, make ends meet. And I got onto Seeking Arrangement, unfortunately, or that website that must not be named or talked about. Yes. And I just had really bad experiences. I had maybe like one or two good experiences, but most of them were pay per meet. So I had a friend that was just completely honest with me and said, look, you're really busy with your regular job. You really don't have the time to commit to be a sugar baby, to be up somebody's ass 24/7, basically. So why don't you just become an escort instead? And I said, that doesn't sound too bad. I guess I'll try it. So for about a year before I created Elliot, I would just like meet guys and tell them what my rate was and just see if I could just go and do it and leave and be okay with it. So I did that for probably an entire year.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, I'm okay with it. So I guess I'll go ahead and make this persona and make the website and put my money into this photo shoot. And that's how I became Elliot.
Oh, that's amazing. Sugaring takes so much more effort for an uncertain amount of money that like it really does make sense to shift into escorting or GFE. Did you have a different name when you were when you were trying it out for a year and seeing how you felt?
Oh yeah, I probably had several different names, but I think the name I used usually was Harper.
Love that.
because I read all these books on sugaring, like don't use your real name. I mean, it's pretty similar to escorting when you think about it.
Yeah.
Don't ever give them all this information, your real information, unless you trust them. But I just never really, I don't think I've ever met anybody that I gave my real information to other than maybe like one or two sugar daddies.
Right.
That's about it.
May I ask you, this is not on the list of questions I gave you,
Uh-huh.
but now I'm curious hearing the name Harper. Um, do you intentionally gravitate towards gender neutral names?
Absolutely.
Ugh, I love you.
I'm
Tell me
those
a
are
little
my
about that.
those are my favorite names, and they keep things clean. They keep things inconspicuous. If you see that name in your phone, or if somebody, usually these clients or these guys are married, if you see that in their phone, they're not really going to think twice about Elliot, maybe Harper, but yeah, I just like it
Yeah.
like that. And I've wanted to change my name, but I'm like, I can't decide on another gender neutral name that's better than what I already have. So
Oh yeah, Elliot is great. I think you're rocking it.
thank you.
Cool. I love hearing that. You are also the host of your very own podcast,
Yes.
which before I launched this one, I went and listened to your podcast all the way through, all the episodes you had at that
Oh,
point.
wow.
Yeah, because at the time, I think there were only four other sex worker podcasts that I knew of, yours included, and so I just really wanted to see what you had going on. And in your most recent episode, you talk about that you started it because you are averse to review boards,
Yes.
and I resonate with that and on a deep level. So I thought we could start talking about review boards a little bit and like why. First of all, talk about your podcast for a moment, um, and then like go into talking about why podcasting was a better idea than involving yourself in review boards.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Uh, Podcasting, it was just an idea that I had one day after listening to, and I will always shout them out. Vivian
Mm-hmm.
and Chantel. Yes.
Yeah, with
Chantel
the sexy
Litoile.
escort guide.
Thank you. With the sexy escort guide.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed listening to them, and they were helping, reach clients and providers. But I had an idea. I'm like, if people can actually hear me, I mean, I'm already faced out. I don't know how much more exposed you can be to the clients in the industry than to be faced out. But I'm like, maybe if they can see my face and hear my voice and hear a little bit about what I want to do and the things that I enjoy and the things that I can do, as far as what I enjoy, what type of experience I provide, what I expect from the people who see me, I figured that would be better than a review, in my opinion.
Yeah. And just for the listeners who don't know what a review board is, would you mind kind of explaining what a review board is and what they're used for?
A review board, from my understanding, which I've tried to get in and out of several years. Usually
Uh-huh.
I just end up not even logging back in after I've created an account. Review board is where a lot of clients, they call themselves hobbyists, go and they find escorts or companions, and a lot of escorts and companions advertise there. So
Mm-hmm.
what they basically do is to vet you and show that you are a real person and you're worth it to them.
Mm-hmm.
You're worth whatever they're wanting to pay. They go ahead and review you with a list of acronyms. I remember not this time that I joined a review board, but the last time, and I just like pieced out on it. I saw a specific term called mommy damage, and I had like enough. I'm like, mommy damage. Like, how are we being subjected to this type of abuse and behavior when we can't even go back and say, okay, well, you weren't the best looking person either. But that's not what it's even about, you know?
Yeah.
It's more about the connection for me. But these people usually on these review boards want to know X, Y, and Z. They want to know that you're going to give them a blowjob without a condom, or you're going to let them come in your mouth, or all kind of things that are incriminating. So
Yeah.
basically, that's what review board is and review culture
Yeah.
to me.
I thank you for that, because I haven't ventured onto review boards myself because I've just the concept of them is abhorrent to me. I think it's disgusting. Like we both know because we're in the industry, but like every relationship I have with each individual client is different.
Yes.
And that's like where review boards don't make any sense, and it's just this version of objectification, and like it really just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't want any part of it. So when you were
Yeah.
just kind of like, I did a podcast so I could get away from review boards, I was like, yes, please, thank you.
Yeah. It's not my thing. I mean, I tried it for a little bit just to see how would that change the clientele, but I don't think it made it any better, to be
Yeah.
completely honest.
Yeah.
And I even saw photos of somebody on there, and I'm guessing they gave permission to the client to post them, but I was like, that's just way too much for me.
Agreed. I think it's an invasion of privacy, and it cheapens the relationships that I'm cultivating with my clients. That's like
Yes,
the thing I feel about it.
I agree.
Why I wanted to ask you, like, why do you think sex workers feel the need to be involved on these review boards? So if you have any insight on that.
Well, for a lot of people, that's what helps them maintain business.
Hmm.
And I have nothing against that, but that's just not the business model that I model my business after.
Yeah. Well, and I think too with Sesta Fasta and a lot of the ad sites, um, either being completely shut down or just like not being trafficked by clients. Like clients aren't visiting as many of these ad sites, but they are going to review boards.
Yes, there's just so many, and we're trying to get them off of the review boards and just to use the advertising sites instead.
Yeah. Come over to Trist or whatever, but come over to
Yes,
something else. Get off
yes.
the review boards.
Yeah, please get off of the review board. I mean,
Ugh.
I'm not, I just, we've got I think one or two big ones here in Texas, and
Mhm.
I can't deal. There's like a specific group of people that won't, they refuse to pay over a certain amount for
Yeah.
any encounter. And I'm just like, wow, this is insane. I can't believe people want to water down companionship so much that they are entitled to having all of these services for X amount of dollars.
Yeah, and it's like that's totally cool if that's your budget, dude, but don't think that my services are priced according to your budget.
Yeah,
Right.
just find somebody that you want to see. Don't try to force us all into charging
Yeah.
something that we don't want to charge or that we're not comfortable charging.
Exactly. Exactly. Ugh. Um, I'm gonna pivot a little bit away from review boards because
Uh-huh.
I think that we've covered as much as we can about review boards. Um,
It's
but
depressing.
I know it's depressing. It's depressing, and I'm always just kind of like, oh, I wish they didn't exist. Or I wish there was one that was like sex worker run, where there was a little bit more rules about like what was posted. There was more respect um, for the sex workers. Yeah, and like an understanding. But they're
Well,
most of
maybe one of your listeners can do that. Maybe we've sparked some interest,
hey,
hopefully, to someone.
listeners, if one of you can do that, I'll help moderate.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great. Um, one of the things that you wanted to talk about, and I'm really excited to talk about this with you, is your relationship with your body. Um,
Yes.
so, first, before we talk about your relationship with your body and sex work, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about what your relationship with your body has been like up until you got into sex work.
Well, I've always thought that I was never thin enough for some
Mm.
reason. And I grew up with a competitive dance background.
Oh, wow.
So it just always seemed I was always exercising and always dancing. So I was already thin, but it just always seemed to never be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm in my 30s and I go back to look at those photos, I'm like, I was perfect. What was
Mm-hmm.
wrong with me? But I don't know. I guess it's just society tells you just to be thin, 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 as thin as possible. I remember wanting to do ballet and point and thinking I'll never be thin enough to do that.
Mm.
And they actually encourage that. That's why a lot of ballerinas have eating disorders.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of them have. So I was just like, I'm not down with that.
Mm-hmm.
I started to dance professionally and I still didn't think I was thin enough. And now um, it's been a it's been a journey to just
Mm-hmm.
actually appreciate and love the body that I'm in now. But you have to, because that's the only body that you have. And you're beautiful no matter what, I believe. And I believe that about other companions and I believe that about my clients.
Absolutely. I talk to people about because people always ask me like what are like what's your sexuality or who are you attracted to, and I'm just like, honestly, I don't like, I think bodies are fun. Like it doesn't matter what body you have as long as like the person on the inside is someone that I can vibe with,
Yes,
then we can have fun. Um
always.
so I agree. I think and society does teach us um I mean capitalism thrives on on us thinking we are not perfect and striving for perfection and spending money
Yes.
on all of these things.
Yes.
And specifically um people who don't fit into like western beauty, like very white supremacist beauty standards, right?
Yes.
um so one of the things I wanted to ask you about too is like as a black woman, what are some of the things you do to like reclaim your body and like subvert the narrative that you've been taught about beauty?
Well, I think the first thing that we have to do is realize that a lot of what society is telling us is popular now, like full lips,
Mhm.
full hips,
Mhm.
huge asses. Where does that all originate from?
Right.
Hello, that is us. That
Mhm.
that I mean, we are naturally this way. So first we have to understand and recognize that.
Yes.
And basically I just tell society to shove it, because you've taken everything, the essence of black women, and put it into other cultures, and you want to say that we are not beautiful, but this is where everything came from. We
Exactly.
are the epitome of beauty of the beauty standards right now, at least, which things are changing. I mean, I'm so happy to see things are changing, and people are becoming more aware of that, especially in this industry. I just think it's going to take a lot of time for those beauty standards to die out, the old ones, blonde hair, blue eyes, super thin. But I feel like there's somebody out there for everybody type. And I used to be really self-conscious about being a black companion, but I'm not anymore. I swear, the older I get, it's just the more I'm just like, fuck it. I don't care. Like, either
Yes.
you see me, I present this to you, you see me, either you want it or you don't. If you don't, move on.
Yeah. As
So
a Oh, go
I
ahead.
mean, I want everyone to embrace their beauty, their curves, their lack of curves, all of it.
Yes, the diversification of our beauty standards, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I resonate too with this. As I've gotten older, I give fewer fucks. Um, it's because I used to want to be everybody's type. I've said this before in the
Yes.
podcast. I wanted
Yes.
everyone to want me, and that's what would make me feel valid, especially as a stripper, especially in this industry. It like makes you feel financially stable and worthy and like all these things. But as I've gotten into my 30s, God bless the 30s, um, I've also just like, I don't give a fuck what other people think. And there's people out there for like who are my folks and like
Yes.
who want me.
Yes.
And same with you. Like there's people out there who want you, and those are the people that are worth like our attention. And the other folks, if they don't want it, then like awesome, go on your merry way. There's plenty of other people out there for you.
And no one can be like everything to everyone. I mean, it's just stressful anyway when you
Yeah.
try to even be that.
Yeah, and I find that there's a lot of like we'll touch on the review boards again for a moment, but the guys on the review boards seem to think that like what they desire is what everyone else desires. And there's this
Yes.
like assumption that there's one sort of um yeah, beauty or like what is sexy or what is desirable. Um and that they can call it out and like nitpick on providers. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's gross.
What I like to call that is this one size fits all approach. And that's not how any of this works. That's not how sex work works. Sorry.
Yes. Those bodysuits, one size fits all, those bodysuits never fit right. I'm just gonna say that.
Ever. So it's not like you can do like everybody wants this, everybody wants that. No, some people seek out a companion for a specific reason and others for another. So
Yeah.
you can't just say, hey, she did this, this, and this. But what
Yeah.
about if I just want to take somebody out on a date and just talk to them?
Yeah. Like this person may not have the knowledge of astrophysics that I really want someone to have. So I gotta find somebody.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never know.
Well, I love that. I is there anything that you do specifically like for your body to like show that you care for it and love it? Like is there a ritual that you like to do for your body?
Um, what I do is just try to treat it as best as I can. And that means exercising and eating right
Yes.
and looking at myself in the mirror and saying, you are beautiful. You are hot. Like, damn, that's sexy today. Like, look at that ass. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people might think I'm vain, but I will always look in the mirror when I pass one.
Oh yeah. Also, a little vanity never killed anybody, you know?
No, I don't think so. Not at all.
That's
So,
good.
I mean, I've just grown into loving my body as I've gotten older. I don't know. It's just, what else can you do? What other option? I don't have time to be sad or upset, especially about something that I can change. I mean, you can always modify some things with your body if you want to, if you don't like that, you know.
That's very true. I'll ask you one thing and then that's a really good segue that I want to jump on.
Mm-hmm.
How has sex work changed your relationship with your body?
Oh, I'm just a lot more comfortable, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
because of sex work. A lot more aware in my body, especially during, being intimate with someone.
Yeah.
And it feels like I can be able to voice my opinions and boundaries and concerns a little bit more clearly now than I could before, even in a civilian setting or like a civilian date. Now I can actually speak up and be like, you know what, I don't like that, can you do something else? Or like, that's too hard, that's too fast, go slower.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think sex work has enhanced my relationship with my body.
Yeah. I mean, declaring boundaries is like a trust building exercise with your body. Like your body trusts you to be able to request its desires or protect it from what it doesn't like.
Yes,
Yeah.
protection is most important, most definitely.
Agreed. I love that. Well, I'm jumping on this perfect segue you set up. Speaking of, you can always change your body,
Yes.
and like plastic surgery, body modifications was something that you had indicated you wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had plastic surgery or any kind of body modification?
Yes, this year, but I have been thinking about it for several years, probably since 2018. But I got a breast augmentation this year in February.
Wow. Did you go bigger or smaller?
I went bigger, go big or go
Bigger.
home. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yes, baby.
And my doctor was like, I told you you could go bigger, but like, you don't have to be like obnoxious. And I'm like, listen, who is paying here? Like, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Big, like, let's go big.
I love you. Also, okay, so when you were thinking about um having your breast augmentation done, what was the thought process like? And when did you decide to actually go through with it?
A lot of people would tell me, you don't need that. But I knew for myself and what the look that I wanted to achieve, that I just wanted a little bit more fullness towards the middle of my chest. I just felt like it laid a little bit too flat for me. So I went on several consultations, and a lot of people told me I needed a breast lift, but I'm like in my late 20s and I've never had any children. So I was just thinking, this is insane, because the incisions for that type of procedure are usually just like really intense.
Yeah.
And so I did not want to do that until I finally found a doctor here in Dallas that said, hey, I think I have a solution to what you're wanting. And instead of going underneath the muscle, I'll go above the muscle. And I think that'll give you the look that you want without having to have a breast lift. And you can always come back if you decide you do want a breast lift, and we can see how you scar. Because I have never had any major surgery before. So that was a really big concern to me,
Yeah,
especially being
absolutely.
African American and scars being darker.
Right.
So I just finally decided, when the doctor finally said, hey, instead of saying, no, you can't do that, or I won't do that, he compromised with me and said, yeah, I think I can do that. So that was the doctor for me. And so I
Cool.
decided well, I wasn't sure about doing it then. Let's see. I had the consultation last summer. And then on my 31st birthday, I said, that's what I'll do for my birthday during a pandemic, which is just bizarre. But I'm like, I can't go on vacation, so I guess I'll just get some boobs or something. That sounds fun.
I love it. Yeah. That's so great. After you got the surgery, I mean, obviously I wanted to ask, like, did the way you see your body change? But of course, like, visibly the way you saw your body changed, but like the way you felt about your body, did that change at all?
I felt like I was balanced out, if that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because of the curves that I have on my hips and things like that, I just felt like I was evenly proportioned. I mean, I was fine before anyway, but I really liked it.
Cool.
Especially like I forget what they call this. Some phenomena where you're like super kind of swollen and your implants haven't like dropped and fluffed, is what they call it
Oh
yet.
yeah.
I really like that look.
Ah.
So I'm like, ooh, do I want to go back? But I'm like, no, I don't think I'll go back
Like
right
where
now.
they're like a little abnormally like perky and up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I loved it. I'm like, ooh, I really like that.
It's so fun. What is something that you wish people would understand about plastic surgery or body modification? Like the greater public, what's something you wish they'd understand?
I wish they would understand that it is our body and our choice to do that. It doesn't make us any less than anybody else who is all natural. And I feel like that's like a selling point for some companions. Oh, I've never had any surgery. I'm all natural. I mean, that's beautiful to feel like you've not had to have surgery,
Mhm.
but I just wish people would not put it in such a negative light. And I think the more that plastic surgery gets popular, the more that myth will kind of fade away that it's like a bad thing. I mean, I applaud people who can actually afford to have plastic surgery
Mhm.
and go through the healing stage of it, because it sucks. It's not fun. But at the
Mhm.
end, when you've achieved the result that you wanted to, it's awesome. It's beautiful. And you feel like confident in your body. So I just wish more people would look at it that way, in a positive light. There's nothing wrong with having like a little modification here and there. I mean, For some people, it's a hobby. It's like a lifestyle choice.
It's true.
Um, it's kind of addicting, like they say. Like, I kind of wanted another surgery, but who knows? I may or may not. And a lot of people just don't want to talk about it, which I think that's extremely unhealthy to say you haven't had surgery and then have people try to obtain the same results as you when there's no way possible you can do it without the surgery.
Right. Oh yeah. That sounds like me with tattoos. The like, oh, I just want to go get another one now. Um, but I think you're right. I think there's people who want to say they didn't have it because there's shame, there's stigma around it.
Yeah.
And if we could eliminate the stigma, I think one of the things that, as I'm listening to you, comes up for me is that people who get plastic surgery aren't always doing it because they're not happy with their body. They just see something they want to change.
Yes.
It's not necessarily like I hate myself and I have to change this thing. It's just like
Yes.
I'd like to change this thing. Just
Yeah.
like
It's like an elective option, it's whatever.
yeah, almost like getting your ears pierced.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, just a lot more expensive.
A lot more expensive. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Did you notice after you got your breast augmentation if that changed your work or how you interacted with your work or how clients interacted with you? Did you notice anything there?
I noticed people when I mean, how can you not notice these? People would, clients would say, wow, like those look really good. And I'd say, thank you. And they say they look really natural. And I'm like, thank you. That's what we were going for.
Yes.
So work has been pretty good. It's just, you have to tell people, like we were talking about earlier, boundaries. You have to be like very gentle now, especially after I had surgery. Yeah. It's like, you just can't go like pulling on those things or gnawing on them.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, slow down, cowboy.
Yes.
And even now I'm like a little bit sensitive, but like I'm good for the most part. But I was terrified to have sex.
Oh, I believe it.
After surgery.
Yeah.
I had to just wrangle a friend and say, hey, can we try this? Can I just try it with somebody I'm comfortable with first before I go back to work?
That's so smart. Oh, I love that.
But he knew to be like super gentle. He's like, oh my God, let me get you a pillow. Okay, only let's do just this one position. I'm like, this is not how real sex works. But thank you. I'm so appreciative.
I love that you're like, you sound a little bitter, but you're also just really grateful.
But when I think about it, it's so cute. It's like, oh, like, let's just get this pillow. Let's put this pillow underneath you. Okay.
It is really sweet. There's a reason you trusted him, for sure.
Oh boy.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so good. That is so, so good. Wow. I think I'm almost done with the questions. That's like bananas. This is an opportunity. I wanted to give you an opportunity to promote your candles because you are also a maker, which I love about you.
Yes.
And you launched this candle business. Was it over quarantine, like earlier this year?
Last year. Yeah. Oh, last year I started to just make candles. Yeah. When everything was opening back up in Texas around March or April, I think. Wow. And I went into Bath and Body Works and like no candles were on sale. And I'm like, I just want to light a candle. I'm so stressed out.
Yes.
I'm like, no candles are on sale. Okay, great. I'll just go home and figure out how to make my own candle. Who thinks of that? I don't know. And then I just ended up on YouTube, a never ending like black hole of making and crafting things. Oh my God. And so finally I got the materials and I taught myself how to do it. But that's funny that you mention it because that's what I was doing this morning and almost forgot about this interview.
I'm glad you remembered, but also love that you're making candles. How can people purchase your candles if they feel so inclined?
Okay, so we've got a few options here. I have an Etsy shop and I have 2 Etsy stores. So I have one that's just my original candle store. That's Class and Kitsch. So it would be etsy.com/shop/ Class and Kitsch. Oh my God, it's like a tongue twister. And then I have another shop that's more geared towards sex workers. And I'm looking for a cause to donate to. Usually all that money, it just sits. I don't spend it. I don't live on it, off of it or anything like that, from those proceeds. So I have that second candle company. It's called Whore Candle Company. So I'm working on like both of those today. And Whore Candle Company, usually it just has like little funny, cute sayings for things in the industry. Like today, I'm probably going to be putting up a candle that smells like blueberry cheesecake, and I've named it Dads Who Go Down.
Oh my God, you're brilliant.
I mean, it's based off a tweet I wrote. I was like, God, they're so wholesome. I love them so much. Dads Who Go Down. Also, dads who make me breakfast, but that's something completely different.
I love that.
Yeah. And then Class and Kitsch will have all of my fall scented candles, because that's when I originally started selling them. Last year was fall, and I was just like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just buying all these different fragrances I thought would smell good and hoping that they worked, just crossing my fingers. But this year we've got a plan, so we're going to start for fall now. And I've got today, let's see, bonfire, caramel apple,
Ooh.
let's see, pumpkin pecan waffles, which is really good. And I hate pumpkin, like with a burning passion.
Yeah,
Like
but with pecan, sign me up.
Oh, it's so good. It's so buttery and sweet, and it's not like super overpowering. So I'll probably be making more of those today. And what I'm going to do every month until, let's see, December, it's just going to be like 4 to 6 different scents. And when they're sold out, they're sold out. And then the next month, it'll be a different set.
Oh my
going
God.
into Christmas. And, so that'll be fun, I think. I hope.
Yes, I love that. Have you considered as well, like with your candle company, have you considered branching out into like incense or anything similar?
Okay, so I have reed diffusers, but I haven't made those yet. I just want to, I'm a perfectionist and I want to perfect it. So I also have, for people who don't like candles, a flameless alternative, and that is the wax melt, those little wax melt cubes that you can put in the warmer. So I have those as well. And I'm thinking about doing room sprays too.
Ooh.
So, and I feel like that really sets the mood for an appointment. When you have like a candle or like a nice scent, or even if you are not keen on any fragrance, I'm about to do some unscented things too. So we've got options for everyone.
I love that. You're so versatile. Cool. Let's keep in touch about the candle thing, because I think I have some collaboration ideas. I'll talk to you.
Oh, awesome.
Are you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Oh God, I guess so. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. The first two are like easy, just to get you a good feel for it. And then the other ones are a little harder.
Okay.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Salty or sweet?
Salty.
What is your favorite place you've ever been?
Oh man, this one is hard. I would say there's 2 places. I'd say Vancouver, British Columbia, and then I would say San Diego.
Ooh, I love that. Those are both really good.
Yes.
What is a book from your mandatory reading list?
Oh, The 48 Laws of Power. People think I'm crazy for saying that, but I think it's a really good book.
Ooh. I don't
By
know.
Robert Greene.
Robert Greene?
Yes.
Is it about like power structures, or is it like getting power for yourself, or
Well, it's about, I would say, power structures, like things people have done in the past to maintain and to be powerful.
Cool.
So it's a little bit of history. Well, not a little bit, a whole lot of history.
Hell yeah. I was hoping that was the answer, because I was just like, it sounds like it could be like a self-help book title, but that sounds more like.
Well, it is. It's a little bit of both, I think.
Cool. I love that. I'll check that one out.
You have to let me know what you think.
I will. I enjoy, this is me being awful at rapid fire questions, but I think understanding power structures and how you relate to them is a really important piece of fucking the system. We'll just say that.
Oh, you most definitely will enjoy that book then.
Okay, good. What is a song, an album, or a musical artist that you've been obsessed with lately?
Ariana Grande.
Oh,
And and that was so funny. You asked me last night. I was just like so into this song from her Dangerous Woman album, Touch It. I love that song so much.
it's so hot.
It's such a hot. I mean, and I had never even listened to that song until I watched her concert on Netflix, I guess. So like I think I had Dangerous Woman, but I just listened to the few songs like Dangerous Woman and Every Day. I love that song with her in Future.
So yes.
But yeah, Touch It. It's just like such a hot song. And it just makes me think about it puts me in the mood to be Elliot, I think.
Hell yeah. I love that.
So I love that song.
What is your secret talent?
Secret talent. Oh.
I love this question.
Wow. Me thinking. Without it being like lewd or anything. No, I don't feel
like I mean, it can be lewd if you want to go there. We don't have to censor on this show.
The hidden talent. I don't know. I really don't know.
I know making candles isn't hidden, so we can't go there.
No, it's not hidden. And
but I didn't know you could dance. Can you?
Yeah. I'm like, I like to do like a little bit. Like I used to do like a lot of strip teases on my OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So I would say that probably would be like a hidden talent because not a lot of people. I mean, people say they dance, but
you're
usually
like,
I try to put videos up.
Yeah, and you're also like trained. Like,
yes,
you're a trained dancer.
Yes, I've been dancing since I was little bitty, like 2 years old. So maybe you could say that. And then I would also say another hidden talent is I'm a great kisser. I've never received like, well, no, usually other people are bad kissers, but I'm just really good at that. But I don't know if that's hidden. I mean, you wouldn't know until you kiss me.
True. I look forward to the experience one day. Finish this sentence for me. Good sex is
fun. Good sex is fun and you can laugh during it. I don't know why people think sex has to be so serious. It does not.
It's like one of the things that drives me the craziest is when people are trying to be so serious. I'm glad you said that because I think laughing during sex is one of my favorite things.
It's sexy.
It's sexy. Thank you. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Let me see. One superpower. I think it would be, I would say to fly. That's my first instinct. I don't know. I don't know why I would want to fly.
Yeah, go
or have like or some super like psychic powers, like some strong intuitive power where I could just read people's minds. That would be really cool, I think.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, reading people's minds could be dangerous because I think people think a lot of things that I just don't want to know about. But some people say those things out loud and I still don't want to know about it.
Ooh, yeah.
But I also think it would be wildly interesting if you could like shut it off and on. I think.
Yes. If you could shut it off, because I just always like look at people and I want to know what they're thinking when they do certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I like that. What is something simple that brings you joy?
Oh, sunshine.
I love that.
Always sunshine, just being warm, being in the light. That is something simple to me that always brings me joy and happiness.
That's perfect. That's so good. Well, that brings us to the end of all of my questions.
I did it.
You did it. It's done. Relatively painless, right?
Yes, not bad at all.
Cool. Well, let's say goodbye to the listeners.
Bye, listeners.
Bye, listeners. Thanks for joining us. Mwah.
Mwah.
And there you have it, folks. The wonderful Elliot Emerson. I don't know that I've quite figured out how to sign off on these interviews because I just end up talking to them for a little while afterwards. But it's cute, right? It's cute. I want to thank you all for listening. I really appreciate you listening to this podcast. I think I say that every time, and I mean it every time. It is so freaking cool. We just surpassed a total of 20,000 downloads for the entirety of this podcast existing, and I'm going to celebrate when we get to 25,000 because I like those intervals, but I thought I would just let you all know because it's a beautiful little landmark, and I am just constantly humbled by the fact that people actually listen to this podcast. So thank you for being here. Cool. You're great. Space fact. Space fact. So if you're like me, you're wondering, how the hell do I get off this planet at some point? Well, the answer is that you have to find these like sparkly technicolored dream shoes, platform boots, and click your heels together 3 times and say, "There's no place like time. There's no time like place." Over and over again until you leave the planet or until you go mad. But, good luck. We're all trying here, trying our best. Save the planet, y'all. Like, respect the planet. It's the only one we got. That's my space fact for today. I love you all. Nanu, motherfuckers.